Hello and what is up guys, Vito here, back at it again with another video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Mamiya RB67. I'm just going to be doing a first impression, maybe a little bit of a review. Before we even get started in the video in itself, huge shout out to RIEBOW for actually letting me borrow the Mamiya RB67. Look, I'd call the RB67 the big brother to my M645 Mamiya, but in our actuality, it's the father, all right? It's the tank, you feel me? This thing is just, it's heavier than my Mamiya M645. I thought the M645 was, heavy. The first time I got it, now I kind of got used to the weight, but yeah, like holding the RB67 in my hands, yeah, it's fairly, it's heavy. So yeah, on this day, I decided to shoot with a model by the name of Abraham. His Instagram link will be below, but this camera shoots on a 6x7 and my Mamiya 645, I was only shooting on a 645 medium film format. So, I mean, you're getting better quality in photo compared to the 645. Before you even start shooting with the camera in itself, there is something called the dark slide. And what the dark slide does is basically blocks the light, but you do have to take it out before you actually shoot the film in itself. So basically you would press the shutter button like so. You would have to crank this one time. And once you crank this and you see the number, for example, from 1, it should go to 2. So once you see that, that means you're on your next exposure basically. The focus was also on the side. So you have a focus knob that you can actually twist and turn on both sides, and usually dealing with cameras, you have the focus ring that's basically on the lens itself. But on the RB67, you actually have the focus knob that you can actually turn on either side of them. Yeah, dealing with the lens, now that we're talking about the lens, that the shutter speed was actually on the lens itself. I've never actually seen that. Usually the shutter speed is not on the lens. That was just very unique, very surprising, but at the same time, very exciting. You feel me? Because once again, I'm learning as we go, on this journey. It kind of sounds funny saying this, but I feel like the more you have to do to be able to take the shot dealing with film photography, the more exciting and the better the experience of actually shooting on film itself. And some other things that were fairly unique dealing with the RB67 dealt with the changeable backing it from portrait mode to landscape mode, which on my Mamiya M645 I don't at all have. Having the function right there dealing with this camera and not having to go into post and actually resize it, in all, it's a lifesaver. It is fully mechanical and it doesn't take a battery at all, so this is a less of a stress type thing. So you basically don't have to worry about any type of electrical problems dealing with the camera, especially during these times where, I feel like if you send a camera with any type of electrical problem, especially if it's film, you probably won't get the camera back anytime soon. So, I mean, if you have the RB67, for example, you don't have to worry about such problems. So that in itself is a beautiful thing. So yeah, would I recommend this camera to anyone? Yes, especially if you are just getting into film photography in itself. It might be fairly difficult in the beginning, but I mean, overall, I feel like once you get the gist of this, you can create some crazy, amazing, unimaginable photos dealing with this camera in itself. So it not having a light meter, you know, there is no autofocus. I don't even use autofocus. It doesn't use a battery, you feel me? You have to crank it twice. I felt like the experience dealing with this camera, it made it exciting and thrilling to not have those things, but to be able to actually do so much to actually take the photo in itself. Who cares, right? Like, I enjoyed just shooting with this camera, and I feel like the more you have to do to be able to produce the picture, you know, take the picture, I feel like the better the experience of shooting on any type of film camera, you feel me? Just the feeling that you get shooting on film, you don't get the same exact feeling dealing with digital. But yeah, definitely huge shout out to Chris, huge shout out to Abraham. Their links, once again, to their Instagram will be below. But yeah, thank you guys too so much for just tuning in and just watching this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and also subscribe. And make sure you also click that notification bell to basically know when I drop the vids. So, but yeah, it's Vito, signing off.